Good afternoon and welcome to GrainTV. It's February 18th, 2014. To my left is Logan Burgess and I'm Brock Shimbino. We had another positive day across the board for grains. Let's turn over to the live quotes to see how we ended. Corn was up 4 1/4 cents. Soybeans up 23.5 cents. Leader to the upside there. Wheat in Chicago up 13.5 cents, and Kansas City was up 11 1/4 cents as well. You know, Logan, like I said, a very strong positive day across all the grain commodities here today, but soybeans really seem to be the leader once again.
Yeah, you know, take a look at this chart here of that March soybean contract. This is a daily candlestick chart, and you can use this yourself by taking a demo at grainhedge.com. But as you can see here across the bottom, we have a volume indicator. Relatively light volume in today's action, but very strength in terms of price action. You can see the dotted line here was kind of that area of resistance that we broke through late last week. Those were from the highs back in late December. Now we're coming up and approaching the highs that we printed in August and September of last growing season, when there were a lot of concerns in this market due to heat and dryness hitting the soybeans during the pod filling stage. So as you can see here, we'd expect resistance around 1380, but with today's action, this market continues to look very strong here as we approach the end of the March contract.
You know, Logan, this was the highest close we have seen since September 12th, like you mentioned earlier. One thing I was kind of wondering as we're heading into first notice day on the 28th for these March contracts and last trade day for options is this Friday. Do you think we're seeing a little bit of short covering, given the fact that commodity funds actually bought about 11,000 contracts today?
Yeah, you know, we could be seeing some of that. We know that there have been a lot of fund traders who have been short this bean market for a while and probably taking some of those off. But there remains a lot of soybean bulls in this market that point to how tight stocks are and how we continue to see good demand on the global front for soybeans when typically at this point in the marketing year we really see the sales start to taper off.
You know, I think something that really backed that up today was the export inspections that we got out this morning. If you take a look here at this table, you can see soybeans, we came at the very high end of export inspections, the expected amount there. This is now, again, in the thousands of metric tons. This is converting over from what we previously had when we would do a million bushels. So a little bit of a different conversion here.
Right.
Corn, the fact remains that we came in well above expectations there at 827,000 metric tons being exported last week, and wheat, we missed expectations there at 266,000. So very supportive for corn, but especially for soybeans. When you mentioned this time of year, we usually start to see export inspections and export sales start to taper off and head to South America.
Yeah, you know, the bulls are going to point to today's export inspections report as really cause for prices to continue to be strong here into the end of the March contract. But I think the bears are really going to focus on the NOPA crush numbers that we got today. Take a look here. This details January crush, and you can see the first column is expected, and the right column here is what was actually reported today. And you can see that the reported figure really missed expectations by just about 5 million bushels, and that's material to the soybean market. You know, if we remember in the January WASDE report, the USDA projects on net to have about 150 million bushels in net ending stocks. So that's a pretty big miss there for the month of January. We did see relatively tighter soy oil stocks than what the trade was expecting. But I think that really that crush number, that really highlights domestic demand. We're seeing it back off a little bit. And as I said, I think the bears are going to point to this as being a cause to sell beans at price levels that we haven't seen since September.
Yeah, you know, we had a sharp rally once again here today. It seems like we have a little bit of differing opinions on what the fundamentals are doing to drive this market. Might be a little bit of short covering coming into first notice day. But if you have any questions about what we talked about today, make sure you give us a call, 877-472-4607, or head to our website and take a demo of the mobile app for your iPad, iPhone, tablet, or Android device.
Have a great day.